Soldiers Memorial Military Museum in St. Louis has a rich history dating back to its dedication in 1938. Originally built to honor St. Louisans who served in World War I, the memorial has undergone significant renovation and expansion to commemorate the service of veterans from all wars. Mark Sundlov, director of Soldiers Memorial Military Museum, sheds light on its rich history and describes how it is also an architectural gem.
At the end of World War I, the city of St. Louis was looking for ways to memorialize those who had lost in service during that war. One of the fundamental features that they wanted was a memorial building. In 1923, the city and the people passed an $87 million bond issue. In today's value, that would be close to $1.5 billion. It was a tremendous bond initiative, and a lot of things that you'd expect from a city like sewers, streets, street lighting. But they also wanted to create a memorial building and a memorial plaza. This is really one of the first land clearing initiatives of the city of St. Louis. The property between what we now know as Civil Courts building and all the way down to Union Station was filled with 3- and 4-story buildings, factories, warehouses, homes, all kinds of different properties. And the city's vision was to buy this property up, clear it, and create both Memorial Plaza and Soldiers Memorial. And it started that work in 1923, and as things dragged on, we were soon into the Great Depression. Money got tight, construction became more difficult, and so eventually by 1936, the city reached out to the federal government under Franklin Roosevelt and his Works Project Administration and requested an additional $800,000 to finish the construction of Soldiers Memorial and the completion of Memorial Plaza. So Franklin Roosevelt came in October 1936, stood on the corner of 13th and Market Streets, and addressed the people of St. Louis and dedicated the site and future construction of Soldiers Memorial. The visit in that photo are really astonishing. There's thousands and thousands of people leaning out of City Hall, out of the windows and standing on the ledges. You can see the city workers. You know, it's 1936 and you're not going to miss a chance to see the President of the United States who's come to your town. Soldiers Memorial opened on Memorial Day 1938. It's a classical strip style with many Art Deco flourishes. These flourishes are both inside and outside of the building. Primarily on the outside of the building, of most significance are 4 statues that were created by Walker Hancock. Walker Hancock was a notable sculptor of the time who, at the time of construction of Soldiers Memorial, was living in New York City but was a St. Louisan, and so came back to St. Louis to develop these 4 monumental statues that grace the building. Walker Hancock, when thinking of this project, thought there were 4 elements that us as citizens and both the military needed if we were going to be a successful country. He envisioned those as vision, courage, loyalty, and sacrifice. All of these fundamental elements that we need as individuals. Also gracing the outside of the building, on the 4 corners are 4 urns, and these urns have the 13 official campaigns of World War I. These were the campaigns that our U.S. Army participated in. Along with those 13 campaigns are 2 recognitions for our service both in Russia and Siberia, both after World War I, and also a notable plaque to the Navy. One of my favorite features of the outside of the building are eagles that grace the steps of the building as you walk up. And these eagles look inward, and for me that's always been this kind of monumental moment where the U.S. American eagle is overlooking the steps to Soldiers Memorial, watching who comes into that building and kind of serving as that protectorate or in that role of service and security. Those features along the top of the building, there's what's called a frieze, and there are 32 individual faces that grace the frieze of Soldiers Memorial. And these faces include the multiple branches and units that served in the war. So nurses and chemical corps and radio corps and the Marines and the Navy, all these different branches grace the building. But to the block of the south of Soldiers Memorial, the city created the Court of Honor. And the Court of Honor is home to a tall, looming, broken bayonet statue that was sculpted by Hillis Arnold, a 30-year teacher at what we now know as Lewis and Clark Community College, along with numerous memorials listing those St. Louisans who we lost in those wars and since that time. It's a place of remembrance. It's a place to learn about St. Louis history, and it's a place to respect and honor those we've lost in service.
To learn more about the Missouri Historical Society, visit mohistory.org.